Yo, this is a motherfucker who needs no introduction. You are watching Breaking Records Radio.
I want to talk about the new projects and kind of what you have currently on the go. So we're 2020, 1995 was the release of The Natural, so we're approaching the 25th anniversary now, or I guess we're at the 25th anniversary now. And I see you're promoting that on Facebook or on Twitter and whatnot, just on social media platforms anyhow. But I also see you end up putting out singles and freestyles and stuff like that as well over the recent years. What's currently going on? What are you currently working on?
Well, I'm actually finishing, you could say, but it may be subject to change. I'm actually I think the fifth, sixth LP, and it'll 3016 King of Queens, and so I'm just putting the finishing on it, but I've just been having a blast in the studio and working on a project. So I put little things out here and there, just like, I guess you could say, appetizers. But it's all a lead up to me releasing, a full-fledged project.
That's amazing, because your last album was when, like 2006, 2007, 2008, somewhere around there?
Yeah, somewhere around that time.
So it's been a minute. What made you decide to get back into things now?
It was so weird, bro. I don't know if it was the pandemic or I don't know. You just feel the way you feel when you do, and I think a little bit prior to the pandemic occurring, I was getting kind of this thing where I was like,
you get antsy.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of feel like recording, do you, don't you, do you? And then I did, and I started recording, and I felt comfortable, and then the pandemic hit, and I don't know, it's like all this energy came, and I just felt really great recording, and I haven't stopped since then. And it's funny because I remember being at a point during the hiatus where I kind of was like, well, I don't know that I would ever feel that love that you have to have for doing music in order to do your best music.
Sure.
And I remember that point where I was like, wow, the way that I did. And I kind of was it wasn't a dismal, it was more like, okay, it's a little, I'm cool with that. And it was weird, time I would try to do anything and completely do it, music would just somehow, some way keep finding its way back. And then,
are you still there? You cut out. Hello? I'm not sure if you can hear me here, but you've cut out on my end. I'm going to hang up, and then I'll try. Oh, I can hear you again.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, you cut out there for a few.
Oh, no. Well, I was saying, I had ended up doing 3 songs, and my wife laughed, and she was like, they're back. And I was like, I kind of, too, both chuckled. And she was like, go for it. Going for it right now. She was like, I don't know, but just go for it. And I did. And I feel great. I haven't felt this good about music since, The Natural. So I'm just stoked to do it, bro.
That's amazing. Yeah, the pandemic is crazy, and I've had this conversation before, but what the pandemic did is it opened up a huge surplus of time for a lot of people, and people chose to react to that time differently. You have some people that take it fairly, I don't know, they don't utilize the time, and then they end up complaining, and you can kind of see that on social media or just in your interactions day to day, and people are generally fairly negative towards events like the pandemic and what they're restricted from doing. But then you have people that have that surplus of time, and they just optimize it to the extreme, and they manage to be productive, and they take it as an opportunity in order to do something, in order to create something, in order to better themselves. And I find it very similar to like incarceration in prison and jail, where people are sent away for a long period of time, and you have kind of two different types of people. You have people that choose to use that time productively, and learn something, learn a new skill, go back to school, even work out and just like work on their own like physique and body. And then you have people that just kind of waste that time away. And I feel like the pandemic has kind of placed that situation on everyone, and now you can easily see those two kind of mentalities and two different types of people play out in real time. And the more artists that I speak to, it feels like the artist community, and people that are kind of creative and naturally creative, they've really utilized this time, and they've found the pandemic to be very productive. Of course, for an active artist, there's lots of downsides. Touring is a huge thing. It's just not possible anymore. But in order to buckle down and actually create art, I feel like the pandemic's been a blessing, and I feel like once things start opening up again, and we're able to go on tour and kind of promote projects again, we're going to see a whole flood of releases that were recorded during this period of time.
Oh, absolutely. But I think I agree with you in the sense that I don't know if it's something in the air, but with creative people, it's definitely given us. I think. I can't speak for everyone, but I know for myself, the first thing it did was it kind of brought everything back to the basics, meaning, okay, you can't tour right now, so you're not worried about where you're going and who you're performing for.
Yeah.
And you can't go out, so you're not worried about what club record you're going to do, because you can't do that. So it's pretty much like it's just you and your abilities, and it's pretty much, you know, you having this time to be able to express, you know, the things that you're surrounded by and the feelings that they create, and you know, you're going through this whole thing. And I know, like, for me, it's just given me an opportunity to be insightful, and then to in turn have all the time I need to want to construct music in a way that I would love to be able to. Meaning you're not under the normal pressures of, you know, deadlines, release dates, you know, quarters, demographics. None of these things matter now. It's just, you know, give people something to help them get through, you know, or do something where somebody out there feels the same way. Why don't you write something about that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think what you said there is really important, not just in terms of, I guess, your obligations creating art for other things like business ventures and whatnot, but just
a place where we're free.
Yeah, just being able to create music for your own sake, right? Being isolated from other people and no longer having that peer pressure almost of like, what should I conform to in order to appeal to the most kind of broad demographic, right? At this point, you're isolated from the rest of people, from the rest of humankind, other than maybe the internet. So you're creating music just for yourself, and I think that breeds a level of kind of experimentation and innovation that you're not going to see otherwise.
It definitely does. It definitely is. It's the precursor to that eureka moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, like, to all these things that influential, you know, in terms of the they kind of have a dictation in terms of what artists do or don't, and you're not subject to that right now. You know, like, time doesn't even really matter at this point, you know, so you're kind of free to express yourself in ways that, you know, you can take off the cuff. You know, you could just go for it. And like I said, that's liberating. And I feel like a kid, bro. Like, I feel like a kid. I might go get my Santa Cruz Slasher and just like rail glide the store right now.
It's
Like
beautiful.
that's how I feel.
Beautiful.
You know, so I'm just appreciative of it, and like you said, it's all in what you choose to do with every moment that you're given. You know, and if you want to appreciate a moment to its fullest, why not seize it, and why not do as much as you could? You know.
Yeah, no doubt.